When James Carter inherited his late grandfather's property in Oakwood County, he had no idea that the local HOA had been eyeing it for years. The 10-acre land, with its beautiful old farmhouse, had been in his family for generations. James had spent much of his childhood running through the fields, playing under the massive oak trees, and listening to his grandfather tell stories about the land's history. So when he received the deed after his grandfather's passing, he saw it as more than just property. It was a piece of his family's legacy. What James didn't know was that Karen Whitmore, the self-appointed president of the Oakwood Homeowners Association, had other plans. Karen had built a reputation for being overly controlling, believing she had the final say over all neighborhood properties, even ones that weren't under the HOA's jurisdiction. When she learned James had inherited the land, she took it upon herself to find a buyer, assuming James wouldn't notice or wouldn't be able to stop her. A few weeks after moving in, James returned from a short trip to find a sold sign staked into the ground in front of his home. Confused, he ripped the sign out and stormed over to the HOA office. Karen greeted him with her usual smug expression. "Oh, James," she said sweetly, "there must be a misunderstanding. This land has been acquired by the HOA for redevelopment. You see, your grandfather never officially registered this property as exempt from the association, which means it falls under our management. We found a buyer willing to pay top dollar, so consider it a blessing." James clenched his fists, trying to control his anger. "Karen, this land is not part of the HOA. I have the deed in my name. You had no right to sell it." Karen scoffed. "James, let's not be dramatic. I'm sure we can work something out. Maybe if you paid a membership fee, we could discuss." Before she could finish, the front door of the HOA office swung open, and a tall, imposing man in a police chief's uniform stepped inside. It was James's older brother, David Carter, the newly appointed chief of police. "James," David said firmly, "what's going on here?" Karen's expression shifted instantly as she took a step back. "Oh, Officer Carter, what a surprise. I was just explaining to James that there seems to be a little property mix-up." David raised an eyebrow. "Mix-up? Are you telling me the HOA illegally sold my brother's property without his knowledge?" Karen's face paled. It was just a simple transaction, nothing illegal. We were trying to help the community by ensuring proper land use." David pulled out his phone and scrolled through a few documents. "Karen, I have county records right here. This property has been in our family for decades and is legally owned by James. Selling property without the owner's consent is fraud." "That's a felony," Karen stammered. But the paperwork," David cut her off. "We'll be launching an investigation immediately. If you falsified any documents or transferred ownership without legal authority, you and anyone involved in this scam will be facing serious charges." The room was dead silent. The smugness on Karen's face was gone, replaced by pure panic. James smirked. "So, Karen, do you still want me to consider it a blessing?" The next week, the police investigation uncovered forged documents and illegal transactions. Karen and a few HOA board members were arrested for fraud, and James's property was fully reinstated in his name. The new police chief made sure that justice was served, and the HOA was forced to issue a public apology. As for James, he remained on his family land, knowing that no one, not even an overreaching HOA president, could take away what was rightfully his. And thanks to his brother, justice had been served.